Good morning and happy Monday. Still just getting set up. Forgot to turn that little bit on there. There we go. All right. There it goes. Okay. There we go. Going back to Tmux. I miss Tmux. Let's make the font a little smaller. If it's unbearable, let me know. It seems okay. I'm gonna give it a little peek. Yeah, that seems all right. Happy Monday, everyone. So I got a little feedback, which was good because I wasn't sure exactly how much of this was supposed to be this way. Okay, the purpose of the high-level init option wrappers is not to expose the low-level API. Yes, and we knew that. Instead, it's for exposing information that could be useful to others without exposing systymes. And it seems like as we kept going further into kind of wrapping up this, basically the struct that we got back, there's just too much, right? And so I'm glad we did the PR, or not the PR, the draft. All right, so that GD native sys can be considered an internal dependency and have version number, different version numbers from the main crate. Okay. In an editor, active library path and report loading error. The others are low-level details that the user should not care about. Interesting, okay. Let's go do that. We'll give that a good trim. We were in here yesterday. And there's callback options. So we create new init callback options. See, I was thinking that we could bail just before this. And yeah, I think the idea there is that this bind API, if we look back over here, incorrect API structure would already have been constructed in bind API by the time the callback is called. We didn't want that to happen. And so basically, inside of bind API, we need to report the error, or before the call to bind API, I think. So one or the other. Where'd it go? Was that in, oh, GD native core? I don't think this is the right area for it. Okay, so getting rid of that. Report loading error, fine. Report version mismatch. Okay. Gonna get rid of some more stuff here. All right, now what was the list? The list was in editor, active library path, report loading error. In editor, active library path. Okay, so we don't need the hashes, the core API. Cleaning this up. That's looking pretty good. Okay. I don't think this should actually live over here. GD native core init.rs or init options. Man, naming can be so hard sometimes. Hey Carter, how's it going? Happy Monday. Let's just call it init, GD native core source init.rs. Go back to the other one, take this, drop that in there. Okay. It's not really callback options, is it? No switch file or directory. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. Native core source init.rs. Just to make sure we don't lose it. Okay, so it is in here. Close that one. Hey, Cat Peasant. Good morning. Check this out. It's getting closer. Getting closer. And 2 of these are mine. I gotta finish these up. Last little bit there. And this one. All right, report loading error. This looks like it should work. Go back into the macros. Make sure we get the location of this correct. Create init. Maybe we just call that callback options now, or is it even called options? Yeah, I like big projects getting close to being released too. But you get into that moment where, case of morning voice, you get into that moment of, you know, you're 90% of the way there, and now you're halfway. All right. So this is called GD native init options, but it doesn't feel like that's what this is now. Like init data, init. It's like callback args, callback info. Rename provider not found for the current document. What? No next window. Let's get another window. Check on something. Get status, okay. Get fetch. Oh, 629's out already. Get check out that. All right, there we go. Let that cook. Oh, I've missed T-Mox. Get a little bit more room on the bottom. That last line. I made the font smaller today. Let me know if it's too small. All right, so that looks like it's good. Actually, for this cargo, I just cargo watch on it. Okay, so we do have some errors when that. Init args, and that's private, isn't it? So this macro here has to use the public API. Hey, Togglerbit, how's it going? Oh, you're struggling with a design type question for your project today. Lay it on us. Okay, there we go. That's still cooking. Okay. Just bugging at some code. That's cool. Oh no, by all means. So I think this piece here is really going to be a little bit of cleanup, because I think we have done basically what they want in the in that interface. And what are we using options for now? We keep options around long enough. Call this function. Let's just take that as well. Have I played with IM or other persistent tree stuff? OM? OM? Feels like IM there isn't quite right. Like some stuff, I think where you're going with this is like OM, where you have like a JavaScript, like immutable trees and stuff. IM is a crate. Oh, I didn't know that. All right, let's take a look. Immutable collection. Wow, version 15. They are not staying below 1.0 like the rest of them. All right, no, I haven't played with this. I've played with other immutable stuff. Like at work, we use um, immutable JS indirectly, and I've had to modify some of our dependencies. That's cool. What else? What do they have in here? I'm genuinely interested. What is this? Thread safe and fast, but not thread safe. Okay. Oh, my computer is not plugged in. Somehow that got knocked off. Nice. Okay. While immutable data structures can be a game changer for other programming languages, the most obvious benefit, avoiding the accidental mutation of data, is already handled so well by Rust's type system that it's just not something a Rust programmer needs to worry about, even when using data structures that would send a conscientious closure programmer to a panic. It feels like they're trying to talk me out of using this in the first paragraph. All right, now to continue on. Other benefits. Structural sharing. Okay. Yeah, so you reduce the overhead of the amount of data that you're using. Yep. Kind of like a copy on write for non, or clone on write things. Increasing a reference. In the case of vec, you have to allocate the same amount of memory over and over again to make a copy of every element in it. Yeah, I get that. Okay. You shouldn't have to think about what data structure to use in any given situation. Ooh, they're creating the data structure to end all. All right, talk a bit. Take care. We'll see you soon. Words are hard. Just pick one that's the right shape and go. Very cool. And what are you trying to use this with? So you wrote your own RRB tree for one of your own projects, and it enables you to write a persistent vector type. Nice. All right. Pam Buck, thank you for the follow. Oh, relax radix are B tree. So, just curious. Hey, morning. Morning, Billy R. I've been trying to grow a mustache, like a serious, like mustache, something like that. We'll see how it works. Even got some mustache wax for Father's Day. Slotted page serialization format thing in Rust. The plan is to have types of vectors backed by the file and lazy load on request. Ooh, interesting. Okay, that's cool. So, is this you making a crate out of this, like a lazy loaded little element, or? And I get it if it's like your own project and stuff. Just wondering where we go look at the source code. But now you have a problem where you need either ref count or atomic ref count, but requires an additional load async method. Okay. Oh, you're not sure how to model that part. So is it supposed to be obvious when, interesting. So why does it need to be async? Is the rest of, the API async? I mean, it doesn't seem like RRB interface would normally be async. Got it. So basically, you're trying to have something that's like something like this that has some sort of remote store. Does that mean that here, if we go modules vector, so that means your functions here are likely going to all be async, or you'll have a number of them async because uh, it's not guaranteed that any of them will have the data local enough to be able to answer the question right away. Like insert and whatnot. Like this might all be some non-local change, which would be interesting because you could basically say, oh, the backing for this is a database over on the other side of the world and make REST requests. Hmm. Yeah, thinking about that, that's yes and no. There will be non-async version of the tree and async versions. Okay. So you might have a version that has get that's not async and a version of get that is async with async and non-async methods. Yeah, actually, let's go look at Twitch chat. I know Museum's been working on this, and this is pretty much, I think, what Museum was trying to do last stream. So he added a feature flag here for async, and by default it wasn't. I forget if it was default not async, and then when you enable async, then everything has that API as well. So before we look, what would be? Anybody have any suggestions before? Like, what would our initial guess be on this? Yeah, it's interesting. So async stuff. If we go look at standard, and, Where did I want to look? I wanted to look at futures. So in futures, you have the pull. You also have a waker. And this is basically the whole mechanism that drives async in Rust. It builds up a state machine. And let's see, so we basically want to have a version that has a state machine and a version that doesn't. We probably don't want the sync API wrapping the async API, which should be weird. Yeah, this is a good kind of puzzle. This is a good one. Yeah, I'm not sure if you end up having to. So what would be the right way to do that? So if you did have some sort of structure that could here, okay, let's take a peek and see what Museum's done. Anything else async in there? No. Okay. Yeah, but these elements here. Oh, this isn't the same. This isn't quite the same thing, is it? Let's see. How are you providing the backing store? Hey, good morning. Hope you had a good stream today, and thank you for the raid. We've been working on just been working on the Godot Rust project, and we're on a little bit of a little aside here, checking out some other stuff. So for the raiders that don't know, for the past couple weeks, we've been working on Godot Rust. Godot is a game engine. You can go download it and whatnot. I'm not working on the game engine itself, just the Rust bindings to the game engine for being able to use in our own game. A couple of things that I really wanted in this have already been completed, and we're just trying to help it wrap up and get all the way to version 9, 0.9, and maybe even 0.9.1, which has async support. So that can be really nice. Now, to explain our quick aside, Cap has been building out a data structure and basically wants an async interface and a sync interface to it. So we're in the middle of trying to figure out how to make a sync and async API from basically the same structure. Yeah, this becomes challenging. So yeah, you're either going to have to do that or break each one of those pieces down into, I guess, the async, basically where you would await, right? So if we come back here, just tossing it at the bottom of some file. So if you normally had some sort of function that was, you know, it had some IO or whatever in it. Let's say this is your get function get, right? And inside of here you have async await points. So you might be making a net request, making some sort of disk request. So inside of here you might have a immutable self and maybe some sort of key. Let's say it's some borrowed value or whatever. We'll just use stir for now. And it returns whatever t is, right? Or an option to t. Inside of here, you might have a number of different await points. Right? So it might be some sort of file IO.await. And you could break these into individual async functions, or rather individual functions that you would then await on. No, because that just bubbles the problem, doesn't it? Yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, interesting. Oh, of course. Yes. You would need to declare the T. We're just kind of pseudocoding out how would you actually do that so that you could have a get function and then async function get. And of course, this might be like get async or whatever. But how do you make it so that you could actually share code between these two functions? So this might be some sort of file or self.file seek fetch whatever it is and get that. This is a really challenging problem. Like, I don't know how to do this straight off. Does anybody else have experience in doing that? Because even if we were to try and you could try to have some sort of no, I don't see it. I was thinking, if you just wrapped the one, and then you're probably going to have some sort of runtime and whatnot. You're not going to want the runtime if you do have, or if you're not using the async version. So the simplest example here would be that you have some gigantic amount of data that you're storing on disk. You have the structure, and you want to be able to ask it, do you have this thing? So normally if you're doing a synchronous request, you would just maybe map it, wait for the data, seek, figure out where it is, and just return it. The async version, you'll be using async readers and writers trying to find this. And then other things could go on at the same time on the same thread, which would be great because file IO is super slow. Huh. trying to think, is there a way to have like your reactor, your core of this thing be passed into your algorithm, and have your algorithm not aware that it's using something that's async? I don't think it is. Yeah, the challenge I think is really going to be in lines 2 and 5. How do you reuse code between these? Which might be, function load file. And in one case, that's going to be async. Then you're going to have another case where it's not async. Where's my chair? My chairs are gone today. I didn't even look this morning. This is kind of like a sit down and scratch your head sort of problem. So if you did have, so ideas, we're just brainstorming. What's the problem? The problem is, challenge. Almost. Problem is not spelling words right. Maybe. All right. That's going to be depending on what? Feature flag? Common base struct, yeah, okay. So if you did have some sort of like two different base structs, async and not. Yeah, it seems like you have to abstract out all of your algorithms. But then, even if you did that, how do you pass? Right. Even if you had some sort of sort, let's choose some really dinky little algorithm, right? Silly little bubble sort. Just give me your pseudocode. So if you had something like this, then there's certain lines in here. Not going to be possible to know until certain elements are loaded. Right? Any of these sort of data fetches here would have to be loaded in async. Because some of these are going to be async like this. Knowing the length might not even be possible ahead of time. So there. We're just swapped. Swapped to some local. Swap to set to false. And -1n is the length, okay. And then this line here. Probably this one as well. So how would we make an async version of bubble sort? That also works with this. It's not like you can really hide async behind a sync interface. Oh, the length is possible? Okay, it's for the tree. So you know that ahead of time, maybe it's metadata that you load immediately. But it's really going to be like line 8 and line 10, right? You can hide it behind a trait? This is neat. This is neat because it kind of illustrates probably a very common problem. You're not the only one that has this problem, right? I know other libraries would that I would like to use currently have sync interfaces, like Diesel. I haven't looked at Diesel in forever, but Diesel has a sync interface, and there's talk about, why isn't there an async one? Actually, what did happen in 1.4.5? I don't know. Yeah, but async standard's just a different runtime, and I guess if I wanted to use a sync version of this, I wouldn't want any runtime to be pulled in. Right? How would you do this without pulling any runtime in? Maybe it's a config option. Just a quick aside on the aside. Where are the releases? Oh, they're on the right. They moved them. Okay, fine. No async. They didn't add async. They keep wanting async in Diesel. Wonder if there's a way to have like some sort of like provided the data. Because even in these cases here, how would you swap out this access, right, and then this access here? So that in one case it's async, in the other it's not. This is a good one. Because I mean, typically you would want to then say, like, okay, let's change this instead of array access. Let's say a.get, right? So in one case it's going to be async. In the other case, it wouldn't be. Right? So there's going to be two different versions. And just by having async here would then mean that you needed to have async up here. Because you can't call in async not in an... You can't await. I meant this to be an await. Can't await in those spaces like that. Yeah, it would be really weird to have that in two different places, right? have like the async one and the other one just be like clones of each other. You can have a trait specialization for your type. What do you mean, Eddie? Now, cap isn't the only thing that I can think of here is macros. You could specialize the async. I mean, with macros, you basically deduplicate your code and could generate something slightly different based on whether it's async. I mean, it would just be a cheap way to stamp out code. Because really, what are you trying to solve with this? You're trying to solve maintenance. Duplicate code. Because if it wasn't for this, then you just have two versions. But because async and not async is so close, it's just words apart, right? Literally, like those two pieces there and probably on this line. Then it would make sense to just stamp it out. I'm not seeing a different way to do that. Another thing you could try is, you know what? The Tokyo community has been really just on it. Oh, wrong one. Where am I going? I didn't mean to go in there. I'll toss a question in here and see what they think. I mean, Alice is super helpful. Like, there are so many really helpful people in here. Now, there isn't a marker trait that says this is async. Basically, async types, they basically just implement future. Well, I guess that is the marker trait that says this returns something that is a future. Oh, sorry, in the browser I meant to be. The type is different. Yeah, the difference between like a future, like a async foo, right, with a bar. Let's say that's returning a bar, and a non-async, like writing this out the old way. Oh, what is it? Async function foo. So you would have function foo with future, what is it, output equals bar, something like that. Like these are kind of the same thing. So you could try to look at the return type of that. But I don't. That doesn't seem right. So Cap has, I don't know if you saw the other day, um, down in here, Titolne has this really neat set of exercises for doing macros. The Proc Macro Workshop. If you go through this, let me know how it is. I want to try to go through this as well. But this looks really useful. Drop that buffer. That's an interesting problem though, Cap isn't. Man, I don't think there's a way to really tell a difference. Yeah, learning proc macros from the wizard would be be good. Okay. Definitely let us know where you end up on that. And if you ask the Tokyo people, 'cause they are super smart. Yeah, the wizard of macros. Oh, don't worry about it, man. Um, I like those little sort of brain teasers. It's like a little puzzle. We're trying to like unwrap it, see where it can go. Hmm. Yeah, that's a challenging one. Wrestling's like, yeah. And now make it optionally async. Ah. Okay, so this is happening in that couldn't find init callback args in $sign crate. Why not? Oh, it's called info. That should be better. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad one for that. Because it spans any of the runtimes. Or you could basically any of them could run with that. All right, let's try to use this. In the documentation, it wasn't clear to me how to use this. All right. think we just want to give it a callback ident. gdnative init. We'll just say it's testing init. Go watch this. Okay. Not found in scope. Good. Testing init. Just give us a little panic there. Should still fail. Good. Nice. Okay, now it's not used. Report loading error. Huh. All right. That worked. Gonna go to Godot. Project. Quit project list. Yes. This one was Hello World, wasn't it? Ah, this one here. It's not doing so hot. We got a little spin wheel of death going. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not happy. That is one really grumpy Godot. Alright, I'm gonna have to kill Godot. Goodbye, Godot. Force quits. Let's try again. Hello world. Oops, a little too fast. Where did it go? It's gone. Sorry, I'm looking around my screen. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, there's the error report. Okay, pthread kill. Method bind call. Let's see. Project settings save. Yeah, I don't. Here, let's just not do anything in there. Let's give it a cargo build. Okay. Let's try Godot again. Yeah, we want to reopen it, of course. We like Godot. Godot's our buddy. Okay, that loaded. I don't see any errors down here. Fine. Okay. Slowly. Godot print. Cargo build that. Um, that destroys it. It goes away. It goes boom. Bye-bye, Godot. Wow. Yeah, we got another crash there. All right. Fancy. Incorrect checksum for freed object. So yeah, we get this malloc error. We're getting this. It's something that looks like this. Just by doing a Godot print right there. How about an ePrint line? That's so much faster building now. So much nicer. I can see the iteration on this being much, much better. Okay, let's load Hello World again. Sorry, trying to see if it's picking up the editor. All right. Yeah, it wasn't picking up the right one. However, I got a pinwheel of death on this again. I didn't. Okay, let's make sure that this project loads without any of my changes. Let's quick that. Let's go back to the code. First, anything suspicious? We're just ePrint lining. That's not very suspicious. Oh, there is that. Status. Check out this. I'll restore that. Restore the API JSON. I was playing around with it the other day. Cargo build. Uh-oh, do we have a bug in our build system? API.json changing should have kicked off the build. Sanity test. Hey, 715209. Yes, we are using build.rs. So in this case, here, this is if the API.json there changes. That's a different file though. Okay, that's a sanity check. Oh, stop it. But I had 3 of these. Is that one? And then there's this one. Okay, this is the one I think I care about. So we're now inside of GDNative bindings build.rs. And this one should have, yes. Okay, that got changed without that being updated. Okay, we might need a separate PR for that. Cargo check. That's more like it. That should take a little bit longer. Let's make a quick note about that. Let's see, where is that? That's inside of GNative bindings. How to resolve the prefix elimination problem? Oh, good question. We actually went with something that was just simple, right? Consistent and simple. If the enum variants for a enum type all had the same prefix, we removed that prefix. If then the variants began with a number, we would just leave an underscore before them. Okay, so that did build. Oh, Rust Analyzer finished. I'm gonna restart Vim. There we go. Yeah, I think that having a simple, consistent solution made a lot more sense than all the little pieces like here or there. Like, it's like, no. If everything's the same, remove it. So, and that worked out really well. There's still a couple warts, but I think then it translates really well if you're looking at the Godot like code examples or something like that. You don't have to guess like, oh, well, which one is it? Why did this thing get that removed and this didn't, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's easier to just be able to tell people, well, if they all have the same prefix, the prefix is removed. Much easier to document. Nope, didn't do anything for typos. Basically, we didn't strip anything out, and all typos are there, and all corrections are there. So if there were duplicates in the variant values, they're all there. Just remove the prefixes. All right, let's see if this will load. Actually, do I have... I think I should use... I'll go to examples here. So I actually built the 3.2 from source the other day. So we're going to do source, Godot, Godot, bin. What do I have in there? I need the editor. Editor. Project is going to be example or hello world. Oh, this is even low DPI. Okay. So it didn't actually detect me going into Godot. There it is. Did it? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did it blow up? I just click into it. Oh, that makes me sad. Okay. At least now we can see the errors in the terminal. That's good. Okay, we're gonna try to fix this first. 501. Get status. Get UI. Get rid of that. I'm gonna stage that for now. Not that though. Yes. Yes. And yes. Okay. Let's go drop this other change on this on some other branch. Get checkout -b lz 501 build rs. Yeah, these next bindings are going to be much cooler than the previous bindings. I think the previous ones had been kind of unsafe by default, and these are, excuse me, and these are trying to be safe by default. Check out that. GD native. Master. There we go. Good status. Good. Cargo. Build. By looking at the Wikipedia page, it sounds like you're reinventing the wheel. Oh, but wheels are meant to be reinvented. And what do you mean, reinventing the wheel? I mean, not all of us want to be C++ or C# coders. Like, hey, you could go use bindings if you use COBOL. No, not doing that. Or Perl. Oh, goodness, no. I love this one the other, what was it? Paint splatter. This one's great. Oh, um, so Eddie, this is I'm contributing to the Rust bindings project. We're just working on version 0.9. So this is that project. Yeah, and if you look at the oh, hold on quickly. This is a great page. Tarball of 100 paint splatter images that were used to for the main data set for this paper. Basically, this guy made this paper, which is just fantastic, and did uh, OCR on these paint splatters and came up with things like this, which evaluates the number 0 in Perl. And it turns out that a huge number of paint splatters going through OCR it's actually valid Perl programs. It's just amazing. Check it out if you have time. It's a really neat paper. Cool idea. Cool idea. All right, so that works. CD cargo test. You feel the drama would never end. Yes. I don't want to. I don't want to program in Perl. I forget what the next version of Perl is going to be called. Oh, was it published on April 1st? That'd be funny. That'd be really funny. Oh, hold on. Is that done? No, it's almost done. Oh, interesting. Visual Multi got an update. Okay. What made it? What made it into that? Get show. That should be all in all features. Okay, I did that wrong. You didn't find it too bad? Huh. Hmm. Still feels like something's wrong. So come back up. Let's see. This. Why is this still there? This was on the new branch. Did that not get committed? That should not have been there. If we do a get show, there's nothing else there. It's just this change. So what's going on? And it's not there. Okay. Im hmm. Uh, JavaScript in 2020. Oh, that's like my day job. That is my day job. All right, so that passed CD test, cargo build. So quick. Copy that there, run it in Godot, done. Okay. Okay, that looks good. API.json, good. Actually, should that be source? API, where is it? Oh, it's at the top. Good. Oh, you're doing embedded C professionally. I love C. Yes, currently working on the Godot Rust bindings. It's a little bit of a detour from like the core project that I'm working on, which is a game called Legacy. I decided to rewrite the GD script in Rust, so I wanted to help out on the project. All right, so here we are. That should be good for that. With that issue, good there. All right, now we can go back to the previous one we were working. Good checkout. Yeah. Cargo. Actually, get checkout. I want to check out GD native master, build it, and make sure it doesn't crash. Cargo. Because loading up the Hello World project is currently crashing Godot. And I want to make sure it's not just my changes on that branch. Oh, Godot can't spawn multiple windows. Oh, yeah. What kind of game would you build that has multiple windows? It's not common for a game to have multiple windows. All right, now let's run it. The editor. Say, what is it? Is it project dash dash project? Oh, it's just path. Dash dash path. That's why it didn't work before. That actually loaded. Godot's pointing at the wrong thing. There we go. It's this gloriously empty gray window. The title bar on it. Okay, back here. So that worked. I've got a little hello world printed out there. Great. Hit check out previous branch. Cargo build. Oh, a card game like poker. That does sound pretty cool. All right, so that built. Let's run it. And it's fine. Okay. All right, something else is going on. I wonder if it's that bad API.json that was in there. Okay. Let's go back to our hello world. All right, now we're going to report this error. So I want to make this more like a drawer. Let's see. Resize pane, let's say 30. There we go. Ah, it normally doesn't wait this long. What is it doing? Let's run it. Ah, look. That is perfect. Oh, but this isn't. All right. Probably modified after being freed. All right. It's probably in this function, error loading function. because I don't think that happened before. No, it just spit out hello world. Okay, that's fine. We are, and it's this here. We probably need to forget it. And I am very new to Rust and FFI, so helping out on this project has been a learning experience. So in this case, when we report the loading error, we have a string reference. If we have, okay, so here we have the library, which we have to pass back. It's some sort of a kind of opaque pointer to us. We just have to give it back. And we also give this C string back. That's strange. I wonder, like, I wouldn't expect this report loading error function to do anything with this pointer. It it shouldn't need to. Is it responsible for freeing the message? We looked the other day, and it doesn't. It just it concatenates the bytes and displays them. So kind of like what we saw here. Um, yeah, I get that. Let's see. Where are we here? We're in examples. Let's go to up, 1, 2 up, Godot, Godot. Let's search for this string. Search all the codes. There we go. Oh, 2 of them so far. All right. 2 examples here. So here's one of them. Here's what. And what's the next one? See, I looked at this before, and I think it's actually this one here. Oh no, that's version mismatch. So we're looking at this one here. This is the const sharp pointer we pass in. Whereas what? What gets concatenated there? Now, I wouldn't have expected this to take ownership of that pointer. I guess it depends on what message is. It's a string. All right, C++ gurus out there, will this string take ownership of this const sharp pointer? Oh yes, the Yeah, that was. I've actually looked at that. The WinRT one. That looks pretty sweet. It's generally accepted as a fast evaluator. Huh. Hmm. So here we have the message. Message is this. All right. C++ string. Where's my book? Oh goodness, I don't even know where the book is anymore. Iterators capacity, operator overload. Let's see. Operator plus. Here we go. Concatenate strings. Returns a newly constructed string object with its value being the concatenation of the characters in LHS followed by those of RHS. Exception safety. Okay. Hmm. I mean, it doesn't say that it consumes it. Like it's doesn't say that it actually frees that pointer. So I don't think it frees it. That would have been weird. Oh yeah, the poker evaluator, right? Infini. That's cool. What type of string? I think string here is a C++ string. I think that's this type here. Well, oh no, I don't. It's okay if it's off topic. I don't care. Um, it's not spelled correctly. Do they have their own string? Well, they have the string buffer, string builder. See, this looks like the one that's actually inside the scripting engines. This doesn't look like the one that they were using. So you're saying that this doesn't look like it's spelled correctly? The string looks like it string. That seems okay. But yeah, where's it being imported? GD native H. Let's see. OS maybe. Oh, capital versus lower. I see. Huh. I wonder where they would declare that. Oh, here. Also in error macros, which we do have imported here. Let's check that one out. Oh, it's just a declaration. The other one was in Ustring. Or is there a macros? Or Ustring, okay. They're probably just referring to Ustring then. Here we go. Getting closer. Operator plus. That's for a single character. That's for a string type. Reference to a string type. Oh, is it taking ownership of it here when it wraps it? Oh, we'd have to look at the constructor to see. Or it could be this one, construct. Yeah, this one they're just copying it in. I mean, here's a possible reallocation, and here with the resize. But it shouldn't take ownership of the source. I don't know what the chart type here is going to do with this. It doesn't. I don't think we're using this one. More likely using one like this, which just iterates over it and returns it. It's fine. And then you have the assignment operators. It doesn't seem like it should be crashing for this. While it's not 0, iterate over it, get the length. Okay. Resize to be able to hold both of them. We set the length and iterate over copying the bytes. Oh, the part that's appended. So we're passing in p underscore stir to something that actually has that. If we go back one, where is it? Um, yeah. So basically, what we end up doing is we have the C string as a pointer here. We're passing it into this report error loading function, which then that pointer, the char star, um, gets appended to something of type string, capital S string. Actually, it's not using plus equals, is it? It's just using operator plus. Will C++ use plus equals in those cases? Operator plus. There's two here. One, two, and two down here. Oh, wait. Res is that. Res plus equals. Okay, so here they're just doing that. The exact function we call from Rust. Yes. Let's do that search again. Might be able to just need it. Let's see. It's not there. I think it's in the error macro CPP. Let's look for this error again. This one. So here we're passing this what in. They create a string from this, append to it, get in the current library path, and some other pieces, which, sorry, I keep clicking too quickly. But it's this what here that's either getting consumed by the string and then freed, or something else is going on. And I think that's what it should be. We can search to see, because it's not quite one-to-one here. There might be another layer of indirection. Yeah, here they're just assigning it to that function. So I don't think there's another layer. Here it is. Hmm. We'll leave that at the top. The bottom one will go to the strings. All right. First one, commented out. Next one, we're not passing in a string here. It's constant pointer, so it's not this one. Not that either. Oh, just to see what's before and after the assignment. Oh, interesting. Up here in the here. I mean, it seems like it's this one here. Const RP. Okay, good. And this should be a reference, shouldn't it? Oh, goodness. Now, what would we actually do here? C++ seems like so far away. I'm missing Rust already. Print line. Print. See out? I don't know. What else do they have for debugging in here? I mean, they must have something. Fprintf? Fprintf, okay. We're gonna just, so we have to give it a file descriptor, right? 2, that's gonna be standard error. In this case, I don't know, we'll just guess. Score what? Now that's going to want something like that. No, it's %s? P what? Oh my goodness, that's been way too long. You can do Java. Before, after. Well, let's put that in the background. What branch am I on? Good. Some build tooling. Okay. All right, so we got to fix that. Where's fprintf now? Man2 fprintf, man2, man3, man printf. Okay. Slash n, slash n, slash n. Oh, I see. Yes, that should. All right, hold on. Let's go back and get that. File pointer. Do they have all right, let's just use printf. Toss that in there, good. Dprintf? Is that what that is? Given file description, okay. This isn't Rust, I know. It feels awkward. All right, cargo. Cargo. It's just not right. All right, so there we go. Was that, I forget which one. That's, so I built two things. I built a slimmed down, um, a slimmed down version of the runtime without the editor. And then I also build the editor itself. Oh, Windows has got that Linux thing now. All right, let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, that editor should be the new one that's been built. Before and after. Okay, so it's not actually doing anything there. Oh, interesting. So it's still alive and it's fine. And if I close the game window, all right, did that make anybody else sad? It didn't crash that time. Oh, heavy sigh. Why? All we did was add printfs. So if we get rid of these, and do it again, it should crash again, right? Either that or maybe I built something wrong yesterday. Hi, Dalek. Thank you for the follow. 26 minutes ago, I missed it. Thank you. All right, there we go. Back here. All right, it's fine now. I'm not okay with this. Huh. We didn't change anything here. Gremlins. Oh, we could. It's just that there's nothing crashing now. I, hey, Dynamic Donkey. I was just trying to repro the crash. Okay, there's one other piece that's still in here. That's this. Maybe they have brought something in that shouldn't have been in there? All right. Strange, it didn't actually come up on my screen that time. Is it crashing? It didn't actually show. And it says that the application's not responding. All we did was comment out standard IO. All right, force quit it. Let's try again. Oh, it started that time. Closed it. Again. Oh, okay. That time it failed. That time it failed. That time it failed. That time it worked. Okay, so yeah. All right. Who's willing to just walk, like step away slowly? We'll go back into Rustland. Um, I mean, maybe we do need to. I wonder if that this report loading error function. Hmm. How long does it actually use that? Because we're gonna drop that like right away. Like all we were trying to do was one simple thing, like pass a string into Godot. Okay. So it must not have been this, right? Because, well, it's intermittent. Let's give that a build again and see what's going on. Now you were also saying to print out the pointer, the %p. Now that pointer shouldn't actually move, right? It should always be at the same address. 'Cause I don't think we're even passing any mutable pointer. I don't think Rust cares. I mean, it's just as pointer. It'll give a pointer to C++, but it's not going to change what it's pointing to. Okay, so that built. Let's run it again. Okay, it actually ran that time. Okay. Again. Fine. Oh, no, 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 no. It's like all fine, isn't it? Because we're printing it out. It's got to sync on the syscall is slowing it down. Hey, we got one. Here's before and after. Basically the same thing. What's interesting though is that we did the before and after, and that's for the concatenation, isn't it? I don't know if I have Valgrind here. All right, it's gonna do its thing. Here it prints it out. What is this? Error print error. Oh, we're getting a singleton. We might be releasing our string too soon. No, but it should have copied it. It should have copied it. You should have extended the size of the string, copied the bytes in, and been done with it. All right. And there is a lock, yeah. So there's some timing stuff going on. Oh, wah wah. All right, so no Valgrind. How about get? Let's see it again. Come on, hit the error. There we go. was it? It was just called eFence, wasn't it? Yeah, no, not there. All right. Oh, let's check here. Where's the standard mem functions? We could leak it. See if that changes anything. Let's see, is that, it's not marked unsafe. All right. So we're just gonna leak that. Oh, it takes ownership of it, doesn't it? It does. Okay. So we need the pointer first. It's not gonna let us do this. Okay, that looks like it works. Oh, as drop pointer. Uh, no, I think it's okay the way it is. Let's see. Okay, that starts up. Fires, good. All right, so that's 1, 2. Come on. 3. 4. So it seems to be working. Let's try it without the prints. I mean, it seems like the Godot side is actually async. Let's see, what else can we do here? We could move the message up and out of the sum. That seems wasteful. I mean, the whole message, that message should have lasted till here. Right? Nothing else is taking ownership of it. That borrows self. And that borrows self of that. So, it's fine. Alright, so we got a new compile. That's fine. Uh-oh. It did it again. Corrupt value. Look at that. I wasn't paying attention to the corrupt value before. Was it always the same? Oh, that one's different. Hmm. Yeah, the value changes. Yeah, except I don't know what we're actually freeing. Or we're forgetting it. I mean, maybe the pointer? I forget the pointer too? No, that consumes it, doesn't it? No, I don't think we have to call it with borrowed pointer. I think the C++ side is expecting to um, I don't know. I thought it was just going to copy the bytes into a string and handle the references to the string itself. Boom. Blew up right away. And that one's taking a while to shut down. See, Rust should also keep us from calling this incorrectly, because it knows the types here, and it's just protecting us from asking the wrong thing in. That's fine. Forgetting doesn't seem to make a difference. Could it be the library? I mean, maybe we're looking at the message and the message isn't the problem. Maybe it's this thing. Hmm. Yeah, the library is an opaque pointer. It doesn't tell us what that type is. It's just C pointer. And maybe it's expecting some other pointer. GD native sys. Oh, that's right. We have to look inside of target for this. Because the bindings are generated, they're not in the same directory. So my editor isn't actually finding it. Let's go into target, RG this. There we go. So here we have a report loading error. It's expecting something called some library, right? I was passing this to it because the types match. I didn't see anything else that we could give it. And in terms of like, C++ API, like, okay, you just want the pointer to this back so you can report what this is. And if we look at what Godot object is here, hmm, I wonder if Godot has a bug on this. Wouldn't that be silly if somebody already found this bug, or if it was a bug in Godot? Nothing. What about, see, that might not be the right repo. Docs, status. What'd I do? All right, hold on a sec. Let me discard. No, they're not on. Drat. Okay. Right. Carafel, if you're out there, could use your help on this one. I just didn't think that this was going to come back to Carafel. All right, Eddie Petrosaur. Take care. See, in this version, the P wand here. Where's PEXT? Extension blah 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 can't be loaded. Interesting. I mean, maybe it's expected to be like static or something? I mean, you're supposed to be able to report some sort of error loading. Maybe it does just need to be static and Petrishore. Petrishore. It's closer to the native pronunciation. Well, thank you. Thank you. I will do my best to remember. Please correct me if I butcher it again. Um, no, at first I was kind of against having some other type out there. But maybe we should be using the C stir here. Let's just play around for a moment. Message pointer. So in this case, let's say, what can we do from pointer on this? From bytes with null unchecked. Okay. Just give it a U8. Okay. This is cstir, standard FFI. Ah, unwrap that, and now good. That's pointer. This is pointing to some sort of static string, so maybe that'll be better. Cool person, despite being a Mac user. I've actually thought about using Linux on the next one, or FreeBSD. I'm more of a BSD person than a Linux person. All right, so that worked, I think. Yep, good. Hello world. Just want it to be different, just to make sure. The difference is non-existent to a lot of people. Oh, the kernels, different architectures. There is a lot in similar, right? There's terminal. They have terminal interfaces. You can run a lot of the same programs on both of them. The stuff in BSD is typically BSD licensed, where the stuff in Linux can be like GPL'd. There's a little bit of a difference there. Just the way that they manage threads is different in terms of scheduling and I/O. So sometimes for me, in my experience, BSD doesn't follow over as easy. But it's been a while since I've tossed a lot of load at it. EPOL versus KQ, yeah, some of the underlying the kind of underlying OS APIs are different. All right, so far, no issues. Oh, there it goes. I should say that before starting to test it. Just build it and be like, so far no issues, and then run it, see if it blows up. It's pretty good at listening. It's like, hey, are you saying something? Package management, different, of course. Goodness, wow. All right, let's print out. Let's see. we should be able to print out the pointer that we're passing in, right? So we should be able to see if it's that object. What's the syntax for this? That colon P on this? I don't know. We'll give a pointer, a reference to pointer. Ship it while it doesn't crash. Oh, it's still crashing. Oh, you know what? Let's just use message pointer again. So I don't think that previous experiment helped much. All right. There's that, and then there's also library. Message, library. Well, that. All right. What if it's the other one? What if it's the library? Oh, that's great. Yeah, so we're basically printing out the pointers, right, because we should be able to then match it up with whatever the freed object is here, right? That little bit there. I want to see which one it is. There we go. Come on. It's having a hard time. I wonder if this is slowly screwing up my system. Wow, it's having a hard time. I'm gonna force quit that one. Don't know what happened there. Okay, so far so good. All right, here we go. 7F, or both 7F. C1D, yep. C1D, C4. It's a library. It's not the message. No, it's not. It's D. It's not that either. Oh, okay. Well, so member of what though? C4DA, C4D. I mean, it's allocated higher than the library. Interesting. All right, let's look and see what they're actually expecting for the library. Godot object P library, GD native library. Is that what they gave us in the first place? Oh, it must, because that wouldn't exist otherwise, and that's currently printing out just fine. So we probably got that right then. You'll ask next time how we fixed it. All right. You take care. Take care, Eddie. Hmm. Maybe we could check to see if it's message. Let's put that back. Say message. Give it a build. It'd be interesting if that was actually an issue. Let's give it a run. Not this one. There. Got it again. Hmm. Let's see, I'm having an issue calling what? Calling. Trying to get it to crash. There we go. There we go. Okay, now what was this? Any of those up there? No, it's still just over here. Probably modified after being freed. I see. So probably something in that structure is not happy. But yes, this is fine. The message is coming through just fine. All right. It seems to be something maybe in library, something inside of there. That seems weird though. Why in the world would that happen? We're not capturing that before. I mean, maybe we should. All right. I think this is actually pretty good. I'm gonna clear that. Other than that occasional crash, I think it's okay. All right, what was the other piece of this? Oh, shoot, I'm running late on time. There was only one other part to this bug, which was the terminate portion. All right, let's get that commented on. Let's see, how do you turn backtraces on for Godot? Can I run that in GDB? Do I not have GDB? Oh, wow. Oh, it's difficult to set up on Mac? Ah, that's too bad. Let's see, what's the Mac one? I guess Xcode, we can run it in Xcode. LLDB? Oh, maybe. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Ah, quit. Oh, lovely. Oh, Careful's saying, do this. One sec, we're getting a little help on Discord. Or maybe a lot of help. Uh-oh. I just did that, didn't I? Kitty. Welcome back, Kitty. I closed Kitty. That's right. Okay. There we go. There it goes. All right, so we got the pointer address changing. Let's run that with LLDB. Do I have to put that entire thing in quotes? No, I have to give it, to do LLDB, oh, no, on that. Okay. And if it's like the other tools, we'll have to run it and we'll give arguments. There we go. Okay, that was fine. Good again. Okay, I think I'd have to get a debug version of this going. Target release debug. Okay, let's make another one. Well, thank you all. I should probably get going. But I'll chip away on this throughout the day, probably. Maybe a little bit of lunch, maybe tonight. I get ready for the whole day job thing. The response so far on Discord is interesting. It might just be a logic error in Godot. All right, thank you all. You know what? We're not going to do a Rust stream today. We're going to follow. Oh, wait, he's doing Dungeons and Dragons? No, we're not going to do that. Well, I don't have a good raider today. Anybody have any favorites? Oh, interesting. Projects, no. Oh, I see. I need to copy this one to this debug. There. Oh, you're too frustrated with rodeo. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry about that. You could work on one of the good first bugs here, good first issues. Any good with macros? Let's see. Transforms. This one was actually pretty straightforward when doing the basis stuff. I went through and added a lot to that. That was a good change, though. It's basically trying to port the C++ to this. Because really all of this here is me looking at the C++ and converting it to Rust code. That's all this is. Oh, Raimu just went live. Hey, maybe you heard me. Was Raimu in the audience? I'm looking for someone to raid, yes. So yeah, getting in and doing this stuff, and then adding some tests. The tests were fairly straightforward, actually. Most of these tests were just choosing some random values and running it through GD script, getting the output, and then comparing it here. So it's pretty just straightforward. That was a good one. This one's cool too. The adapter for consuming GD script custom iterators. That could be neat. Because there's this cool way. I didn't know about this actually in Godot before seeing this. But you can create custom iterators. So being able to use a Godot script's custom iterator from Rust. It's basically what the bug is, the task. All right. We're going to start the raid on Raimu. Well, thank you all. I'll probably keep up this conversation in Discord with Carafel and whoever else is in there. But until next time, y'all take care. Bye bye.